All right, everyone. So we have a trailer here for a brand new show by Genndy Tartakovsky. Now, if you don't know who Genndy Tartakovsky is, he is a legend in the animation industry. He has made so many famous animated shows, Samurai Jack being one, for example. He was also in charge of a new animated show that just came out pretty recently. I think it ended maybe about a year or two ago, called Primal. If you haven't seen Primal, I highly recommend you go watch it. It's really good. And if you are one of the few people who hasn't checked out Samurai Jack, I do also highly recommend you go check it out. And if you're curious, I would recommend checking out the sequel to that show, which aired on Adult Swim, which is basically a continuation of the original show, because the original show ended before it got a proper ending to the story. And so that sequel series does actually give an ending to that story. Now, people are a little bit mixed on the ending. I will leave it up to you if you choose to watch it on how you feel about it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Go watch it for yourself and come to your own conclusion. And he was also in charge of another show, the Clone Wars micro series, which, if you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend you go watch it. It basically takes place between the events of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Basically, it's supposed to bridge the gap between those two films, but then that show kind of got moved to the side in favor of Dave Filoni's the Star Wars, the Clone Wars. Well, it was Dave Filoni and George Lucas, but Filoni is mostly known for being in charge of a lot of what actually happens in that show. But George Lucas was also definitely involved until 2012, when he sold it to Disney, and then the show came back with the seventh season, and then that sort of gave the show a conclusion and ending, which aired, I think, back in, if I remember correctly, I think it was in 2020. Either it was 2020 or 2019 when the seventh season of the Clone Wars came out. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and watch the trailer for this. Now, this is something that I do remember getting announced a while ago, and because we haven't heard anything from it since then, I thought that maybe something happened, maybe they just decided not to go through with it. But no, it seems like they are definitely going through with it, and here is the trailer. We are going to be watching it now. As always, guys, I will leave a link to the trailer in the description of this video, so go check it out for yourself. And if you want to show your support for what I do here on this channel, please make sure to leave a like, share this video out there, subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell for notifications, and please comment down below with your thoughts. Are you excited for this show? Are you a fan of Genndy Tartakovsky and his work, with his animated shows? And he even made some animated movies I forgot to mention. I think he's in charge of the Hotel Transylvania movie series until the last one. I think he was involved in the last one that came out on Amazon Prime, if I remember correctly. But let's go ahead and watch this, and let's go ahead and see what this trailer shows us and what we can expect from Unicorn Warriors Eternal. By the way, I'm really hoping I don't actually get hit for this, because this is Adult Swim, which is under Warner Media, and they are very notorious for dealing out copyright blocks or copyright claims. Really hoping I don't get hit for this. Hopefully the filters that I've got on top of it should help me sneak past the copyright bot.
I have found it.
The souls of Melinda, the powerful sorceress, Edred, the warrior elf, and Sing, the cosmic monk, are reborn throughout time.
Who are you?
I am you.
To face an ultimate evil. This is Copernicus. I have brought him from the future. It will...
I mean, again, like, one thing you can always say about Genndy Tartakovsky's work is that it always looks phenomenal. And I'm really happy that, I mean, technically it did happen with the Hotel Transylvania series, but I'm really happy that he's sticking with the 2D look, because I feel like that's kind of getting a little bit lacking, in the animation world at this point. Is that it feels like a lot of them are moving more towards that 3D CG look. I'm just really happy that he's still doing 2D, because I really think that that's kind of where he shines. And also, I've just always preferred 2D over 3D. Not that I have anything against 3D. To me, it just I've always thought that it just depends on like what's right for your story, like what's right for the story that you're telling, and for me personally, I've always, personal preference, I just always prefer 2D over 3D. Let me know your thoughts. Do you prefer 2D over 3D, or do you don't really care either way? But yeah, let's go ahead and continue watching this. But I just wanted to stop and comment on the just the look of the trailer. I mean, it looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to watch this show.
Will command your souls to return, but this reawakening may prove to be their last.
What did you do to me?
She has powers. She might be the evil we've been fighting against.
From the mind of Genndy Tartakovsky comes a new animated series, a lifetime in the making. Unicorn Warriors Eternal, premiering May 4th at midnight on Adult Swim.
Not too far from now. There you go. That is the trailer. Again, it looks phenomenal. I don't know. Again, the story also sounds interesting, so I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, again, we'll see whether this actually comes out as good as I'm hoping it will be. I mean, animation wise, I think it's going to look phenomenal, but because again, it's Genndy Tartakovsky. He's always been phenomenal when it comes to animation in general. He also did, I forgot to mention this before, but he also did another show that got unfortunately canceled, and I don't think it's ever gonna see like a revival. I know there are a lot of shows and a lot of a lot of things lately that have been getting revivals. I just don't think this is gonna be one of them, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think maybe like Cartoon Network kind of like wrote that show off, did like a tax write-off, so they can't bring it back even if they wanted to. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And I think the same thing also happened with the 2011 Thundercats show. A lot of people, because I remember at one point seeing a lot of people saying that, hey, I mean, we're seeing all these things come back, any chance that the 2011 Thundercats could come back and you could finish the story. But yeah, I don't think so. Again, I think that was another show that got written off for tax purposes, so legally I don't think they're actually allowed to bring it back, because once you write something off, that's it. I think that's kind of how it works. Please don't don't quote me on that. Definitely not someone who can give other people financial advice. So but that's just what I remember hearing about why that show can't really come back, because they wrote it out for tax reasons, so legally they're not allowed to actually do anything with it. I think maybe if they sell it off to, I mean, maybe if someone else gets a hold of the IP, they can do something with it. But no, I don't think so. I mean, they might be able to make a new show. I just don't think they can continue that show, because again, legally, I don't think anyone would actually be allowed to. At least that's my thoughts on what might be the reasons as to why that show just can't come back and it can't continue. But I really hope that this doesn't get canceled like what happened with his other show, which I forgot to mention until this point, Symbionic Titan. Like, that show I thought was really good. I thought it was really interesting. And I hate the fact that it ended and that we never saw a conclusion to that story. But if I'm being honest, maybe it's actually better that it doesn't, because like these revivals of these shows have been a little bit disappointing, and it just makes me feel like, yeah, maybe they should just leave these things alone. Like another show that came back after it was off the air for a while was Young Justice. Young Justice ended after 2 seasons, even though the second season clearly sets up where the story is going to go. And then when it got announced that it was coming back, a lot of people were really excited. And the 3rd season for me was really, really disappointing. And the 4th season was also really disappointing. Wasn't a fan of it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's better if those shows just, stay gone, because I don't want it to come back and then just have such a disappointing finale. And sort of my thoughts on Samurai Jack, because that's another show that, like I said, ended and then came back. It the ending to the ending they wrote for the story was just, it wasn't really, I wasn't a fan of it, if I think is the best way that I can put it. I was not a fan. I just didn't really like it at the end of the day. I didn't. I'm sorry. But that's just my thoughts. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, are you excited for Unicorn Warriors Eternal? What did you think about the little bit of information that we got from this trailer about what the story is? What do you think about the animation? Do you think that, once again, like with all of Genndy's work, it's always on point? Or maybe you don't like it, maybe you're not a fan of it. Whatever your thoughts are, just let me know about them in the comment section down below. And while you're here, like I said, if you want to show your support for the channel, you know what to do. Hit the like button, share this video out there, subscribe to it if you haven't. Make sure to ring the bell for notifications, and I hope you guys will join me for my next video. Bye for now.